passion is. And I found this business when I was struggling with my own health after 18 years. I've been on a long health journey with celiac disease and digestive disorders. And I was searching for something that could, balance my health, heal my health, but also be a meal replacement that I could take on my journey to work when I was working on night shift. So when I found the product, I knew I wanted it all. And the best way for me to do that was to join the business. And I wanted to be able to pay for that and earn some incentives back so that I would never have to go a day without it again. So within probably a month, all of the bloating and hot poker pains and all of the migraines had stopped. And I was able to go off of a handful of medications and finally be on the track to healing. And because of my own journey, I said yes to the business also so that I could continue to inspire that health in other people so they could have vitality and not have to repeat some of the same pains that I had to go through.
Yes. So whether you're doing this for prevention or if you have a disease process that's in, full-fledged, this Juice Plus can help anything, right? It doesn't matter. There's not one cell in our body that can't benefit. There's not one disease process, not one organ or organ system that can't benefit from good nutrition. So I'm so glad you've had that benefit, Sarah. Absolutely.
My name is Stacy Kennard, and I am a sales coordinator with Juice Plus. I've been with Juice Plus for since February, March of this year. And I am a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of 3, soon to be 4. Mine is due at the end of January, which doesn't seem soon enough, but we'll get there. And it has been a thrill being here. It's as far as my vision for Juice Plus and the reason what attracted me to it, I don't know that there's any greater calling before God than being a wife and a mother. And I take my job very seriously. And clearly I'm hiding out in my children's room, as you can see. I was introduced to Juice Plus at a gut health seminar. And I was really looking for something for my children, especially my youngest, who wouldn't come within, 20 feet of a vegetable. And then also, when you think about what you're going to put in your own body, you consider it one way, but when you're going to put it in your kid's body, you look at it a completely different way. And so looking behind at the product and the integrity of the company behind it really showed such great value. And so when I saw it, I got excited about it and I started sharing it just because, like, when you see a good movie, you just start telling people about it. When you find something great, you just want to start sharing it with people. I had no interest in the business, but Margie, that wonderful woman, didn't give up. And by the time I brought her the third person who wanted to order, she said, "Stacy, you're doing it anyway." So, and that's how I got started in the business. And it has been one of the best decisions that I avoided that I've ever made. And it's really changed the trajectory of our family in a big way.
Thanks. Kristen?
Hey guys, my name's Kristen and I'm 23. I've been, I think it's been almost 4 years now since I've been on Juice Plus and I'm part of the business. And really what attracted me to it was just the simplicity of the product and just the integrity of the research behind it and just seeing the nutrition label on the back. And it was FDA certified, NSF certified, and it had some of those big names on there. So that immediately stood out to me. And at the time I was in college and an athlete and very active and getting into health. And I thought I ate enough fruits and vegetables. I thought I ate all the servings I needed every day. But when I sat down with my sponsor and really realized I didn't get that variety every day, and sometimes you just forget to eat good, it really made sense. And so that's kind of where I started, and it really only got better from there. I continue, and I still continue to learn more about how great it is, and just again with the research and the continuing education on it is amazing. And I love it because I get it's like Stacy said, it's just so natural to share it with people. And I also work in the health field just with personal training and it's a great way to help people in terms of recovery and things like that. So, yeah.
Great. Well, Kristen, if you want to just keep it right here, I'd love to hear what are some of your favorite parts of the business? What do you enjoy the most about it?
Let's see. I wrote down stuff so that I wouldn't forget. I would say the flexibility of the business itself. For me, that's important because I'm kind of a busy lady. I like to do a lot of different things, and recently I moved to a different state and was in an internship in school, and so at first it seemed overwhelming, but then I realized it actually fit perfectly in with my life. And another thing that also I really like about the business is how it allows you to be, it frees up your time to be more available for the things that you're really passionate about. So being out there in California and doing mission work in other countries, that was a dream of mine for a long time. But having Juice Plus on my side, I was able, to have that extra $300 a month to pay for my car insurance and my phone bill. And even though it's a little thing, it really adds up. So I was really thankful for the time, freedom it gave me, and the financial support as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sarah, how about
Yeah.
you? What's your favorite part of the business?
Yeah, I'd say my favorite part is definitely the residual income. I know for me, when I started in the business, I had just bought my house, and I've always kind of been independent, and I needed to find something that was going to help me get healthy. But also, I wanted to stop bouncing every month, living paycheck to paycheck. I was taking my money out of my savings account and putting it in my checking just to pay my bills, and then I was waiting for the next bill to come. And so, just by investing the $50, I was able to immediately start earning money back. And when I was able to make $500 a month, then I put it towards my car payment, and I was able to pay my car off 2 years early, which was a huge blessing because then I have that extra money to put towards my tuition, to pay back my student loans, and to be able to just be independent and be able to say yes to more things. So for me, that was huge. I also absolutely love this community. No matter what you're going through, when you feel like life's getting hard and you want to take a step back from the business, the community that embraces us is right there to lift us up, and it throws us right back in the business. And it is all such a well-centered, it's like a circle that keeps going around, and it always keeps you right there. And it's that positive, uplifting community that so many of us search for years to find. And we just said a couple weeks ago, it's rare for you to meet a really good friend as an adult if you didn't know their family or them as a child. And to walk into this community and make best friends that you never dreamed possible is just an amazing blessing.
Great. Thanks. How about you, Stacy?
Sarah, you're my friend. You're the best. I second everything that both of them said for sure. I will say, as far as the connections that you make within this community, one of the really nice things is the connections you make with people that are already in your life that are maybe just a little more extended that you didn't have before. One of the first things I noticed when I started in this business is I started deepening connections and relationships with people that I already knew. So for instance, just my Aunt Jenny, she was one of my first customers. I thought of her immediately with some of the things that she struggles with. And we talked more. And so because we were connecting on Juice Plus, we were talking more about her life and her kids and her, those sorts of things. And so it was really nice that our natural relationship just deepened because of that connection. And then I was very thankful because, you have these people like on Facebook, who everybody's got 8,000 friends on Facebook, but how many of them are actual friends? I was learning more and more about people that I knew, because health is really personal to people. And so a lot of times people don't share those sorts of things or open up about them because they feel vulnerable. And so to hear that so many of my friends and family were going through things that I had no idea, I was so thankful that this, came and I was able to speak it out loud to the point where I started hearing about things they were going through or struggling with. And, you actually had something to offer. So I loved the community that I got to plug into, but I really loved the community that I already had, plugging into deeper and making those deeper connections, and deepening the relationships that I already had, simply because you're talking more, you're communicating more, you're just enjoying each other, and the victories that come with, frankly, eating Juice Plus, and the quality that comes to your life from that. So that was a real thrill to be able to just make those deeper connections with people that I already knew.
Great.
Ditto. I'd say ditto to everything, the flexibility, all of it. I think for me, what probably stands out, just what my favorite part of for me about this business is I can bring it on the go with me. Whatever season of life I'm in, because we all go through seasons. I've gone through many. I've been able to take that with me, as I was also a college athlete. So to weave that into, that was my full-time job, being an athlete and being a student. So, seeing how that worked, and, within that crazy time between, the people above me and around me, was able to get to the highest commission level possible. And I'm so glad that we went for that goal, because then I transitioned through a season where I was out of the country for several months, back and forth, doing mission work in El Salvador. And I couldn't attend a live event. I couldn't invest in, because I was completely 100% invested, in a foreign country. And so whether, there's been moments that I've poured into this, all out. There's been times where I've had to, push a pause or to do a little bit. I just love that there's no one over you demanding you have to do this. They always say you can go as fast or as slow as you want. There is a great community within just this culture, the Juice Plus culture, of everyone's really has your back. I've lived through times where, the people around me have carried me through. And so I just really appreciate that no matter how little time you think you have or how much time, like, this business is so easily workable with whatever your life is, whether you're, a critical care nurse, work 12-hour shifts, or you're a stay-at-home mom. Anything that you value, you'll make time for, whether it's 10 minutes a day or an hour a day. And this business is so doable with that. So I appreciate that, all my various seasons of life, that I'm able to bring it with me.
All right. That's awesome. I know I love who this business has made me become. The personal growth that I've experienced through it is really just something I didn't anticipate, and I really, really value. Well, I'd love to ask you ladies how the Juice Plus business has impacted your life, and what you see for allowing you to do in the future. Lauren, you want to continue?
Yeah, I can. I was just going to say, I'll piggyback on what I just said. So I mentioned, doing mission work. Definitely what it allowed me to do is, like Kristen had kind of mentioned, to have a residual income when I was in a foreign country. If anyone's ever been involved in missions, it's a very humbling vocation where you're completely relying on the Lord to provide for your financial needs, your physical needs. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's also very hard, and it can be difficult to swallow sometimes. And so for me, having a monthly paycheck that I knew was coming in, even though I wasn't physically there, that was huge for me, just being on the mission field. And I definitely I see it allowing my husband and I continue doing missions in the future. His profession, he does get to save and put towards a 401k, but will it be enough? Probably not. My vocation, I do not have any retirement. So this is my retirement. And recently I mentioned just being pregnant for the first time. Same thing, I do not get an income for being on maternity leave, and we still need both of our paychecks. So this is my plan A for being able to stay home, hopefully as long as I can with that little baby, and to be able to know, like, financially we're okay, and all the fun expenses that come with a child. So I definitely just see this as, again, just evolving in the stages of life for the future and how it can help us.
Great. How about you, Sarah?
For me, it definitely has given me a new vision of hope in so many different ways. As I began becoming healthier, it took away a lot of fear and a lot of weight that I kind of had grown up with through my teens and early 20s. But it also gave me a vision for the first time towards the financial freedom and to break the chains that I'd grown up with, watching my grandparents and my parents struggle with finances, even to this day, and to finally have hope towards living past the age my mom died at 38. So seeing prevention and seeing the future and not saying, when's it going to happen to me? When am I going to get diagnosed? When I was already walking down that sick trail, it was the first time there was actually a light at the end of the tunnel. And when you feel that light and you can speak that to other people's life and that prevention side, it's just huge. And so for me, it gives me the vision to walk away from the hospital sometime, which I love, but to be able to work more in the community and prevention and know that I can make the same, if not a much larger income, doing where my true passion is. So I feel like it's that platform that will allow me to do what I'm most passionate about.
Awesome. How about you, Kristen?
This is I'm gonna be honest, this is such a hard question because I feel like I could answer it in so many ways. I don't think when I first started out, I expected it to impact me as much as it has. I think you already said this, Wendy, but just really the personal growth that if you allow it to, it really does change you. And I think really the people in the business, like my leaders and friends in the business, have probably impacted me the most, just in the way that they love and just show you like how fun it can be. And I think doing this business has also showed me how to do life and how to have positive, healthy relationships with people in general. And so it's kind of opened a lot of doors personally for me to grow as a person in that way. And even just as a young woman, just growing into my confidence and finding my voice and finding, my purpose and my mission. And I think, we're ever growing in that, but it's such a safe place to find that. And I think that's really hard to come by. And it's one of the greatest places to make mistakes because it doesn't feel like you're failing. It's always a learning experience because everybody is so supportive. So I would say that's how the business has impacted me the most.
Great, thanks. How about you, Stace?
I love that. It's such a safe place to find that. That's beautiful. The business has really changed our whole family's life in a really large way. Obviously, as most of us know and have heard, the product is incredible. It's done incredible things for my family, my extended family, and my friends. But I will say, as far as the business side, we're a family of 5, soon to be 6 on one income. And this income has changed the game. It really has. And it came so much faster than I ever thought it would. You keep hearing things like, your paycheck directly reflects how many people you've helped, how many people you've been able to reach out to or inspire, and people's lives and homes and families have been changed. There's something to be said for when I lay my head down at night knowing that some person, invested this much money in this product for their family. There's no sense of guilt or condemnation. It inspires me. It makes me sleep better. It gives me hope knowing that people have heard and you heard their pain. They responded to what was available, and it's changing their household. It's changing their family's lives. And that's such a good feeling. And to be a part of something like that, that's so much bigger than yourself, is really wonderful. So seeing how that's impacted us in a financial way has made such a huge difference in starting to maybe relieve some of the pressure for my husband, which leads to the second part of that question is, how do I see it in the future? My husband works 6, sometimes 7 days a week, and he is a man's man who knows what it is to provide for his family and to fight for his family. And I want to bring I want to bring dad home. I mean, he's gone and he works hard. And so, you know, you have this culture that you build for yourself as a family. You know, you're able to be here at home because he's out there doing that, but there's still that disconnect. And so I want more of that. And and I'm willing to fight for it, and to be able to fight for it through something I can easily be passionate about, and know that it's making a difference, you know, is so reassuring. And so, you know, in the beginning I thought, you know, well, this is a 25-year plan. We can retire on this because we don't have a retirement, and, you know, and that sort of thing. But in just these short few months, my vision has, you know, doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I want it sooner than that. I want to have my husband home, and more often, and to be able to say yes to us. That's what I really want, and I look forward to in the future, and it not being that far off. So it's been amazing.
Well, that gives me goosebumps, Stacy. And you know what I love and what I've seen over the last 15 years I've been sharing Juice Plus is that this business has given people an opportunity to dream again, to dream dreams they never thought were possible, and to think of options for their family that they thought were impossible. So exciting. All right, let's wrap it up with this one last question. If you could go back when it was your very first experience with starting Juice Plus as a Juice Plus partner, what piece of advice would you give your brand new self as a new partner with the Juice Plus company? Stace, you want to continue?
Sure. I'll piggyback off of just one of the statements I just made. Is initially, you know, it's sometimes when you're in this place like Kristen was talking about, it's hard to have vision or picture something when you're unfamiliar with the territory. I was so thankful to have someone amazing like Margie and Wendy to help build vision for me when I couldn't build it for myself. But one thing, if I could go back just those few short months ago, I would take more time to dream bigger sooner, not realizing the possibility and the things that were way closer in reach than I ever imagined. When like I said, initially I thought, you know, this is a 25-year plan. No, this is like a 5-year or less. I want this, and I want it for my family, and I want it for others. And I didn't realize how quickly it could move and evolve and into such a wonderfully inspiring, you know, self-organic making thing. So I would dream bigger sooner.
Well, I'm going to go on a different field. If I could go back being a brand new partner, I think for me would be not having fear. I think, you know, we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs and fears we don't even realize, but now being in this business for a while, I can look back and see, you know, I was afraid to share both the product and the business with people just for fear of, oh, they're going to think I'm pushing something on them, but it's quite opposite. I love what Stacy said, you know, I can rest my head well at night knowing, you know, I just know what it's done for me and my family. So if it's, you know, something is so good as fruits and vegetables and so simple, we know it's so good, you know, why on earth would I not want to give that hope to someone? You know, the worst, my dad always say, the worst I can say is no. I mean, you're right. And so I think going back, you know, I would have less fear of not caring, you know, what people say, because that could be the difference of someone like Sarah, who is struggling with celiac disease and, you know, in pain every single day for years. I mean, I can't imagine what she went through. Every time I hear a story, I still like, oh my gosh. And, you know, there could be a million Sarahs. There are a million Sarahs and other people out there who are looking for this. And flip-flop for the business side, you know, I know I'm not the only soon-to-be mommy that wants to stay at home and also bring an income, you know, to not have to work and to be able to stay and do mommy care. You know, I know there's other Stacys in the world that want to bring daddy home and, you know, have that time. So, you know, whatever it is, I think fear often limits us just because of people's opinions, and that's normal. But I think as a brand new Juice Plus partner, I think if I could go past, you know, those fears and really look at behind, like, what could be the benefits, what could be the blessing by not being fearful and sharing both the business and the product with people, how that can impact people's lives, because it's impacted my lives and, all these people that have spoken. So why on earth would it not impact someone else? So.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. How about you, Kristen?
Kind of to piggyback off of what she said, I think I would embrace the no's a lot more and really celebrate them as one step closer to a yes, because I think a lot of times we get really psyched about something because we know all the context and we have seen all these things, but like when you're sharing with someone, they don't know all that yet, right? So I think it would be embracing the no's, but also just having more fun with it and seeing it just as a growth process and not having to be perfect in the business right off the bat, but just embrace the process of like, okay, I'm learning, like I'm just going to start simple and just share what I know. And some people won't connect with it, but that's okay. Maybe they're meant to connect with somebody else, So I think, yeah, you can't always explain everything, but I think just the best word for it is just to embrace the journey of it and to lean on your leaders and the support of just their experience and their education and just their support. Yeah.
Great. Thanks. Sarah, you want to close us out with this question?
Absolutely. I agree with all of them in the piece of following your passion over fear, because it does limit us when we don't realize it. But I think for me, being 100% intentional with all my activity from the beginning and making that solid daily method of operation, that daily plan of carving out the calendar. I think if I would have started that right from the get-go, it would be so routine by now, and I wouldn't be trying to, reset the goal of just making that my goal. I think that would be huge, because I've been doing this for 5 years, and when life got hard, I tend to get complacent instead of just diving into what I already knew to be habit. And I wish it would be more of that comfort zone now instead of like this new goal again. But also really embracing and accepting that this is truly a gift that people are looking for. And we're all given talents and different abilities for a reason. And we're given these gifts, and we have a choice every single day of what are we going to do with the gift. And I truly see this as a gift to be able to give other people the same financial peace, the same hope for freedom of health, the same community and the friendships they've been looking for so long, that if we really can bring that back into the center and focus on that, the possibilities are endless. And it definitely has allowed me to dream and start dreaming. It's been not something I grew up with. I was able to go after a goal one step at a time, but what's after the goal, I've never been able to vision. So when they all said to dream bigger from the beginning, I think all these pieces are so critical, and definitely, being intentional. It's all about being intentional.
Yes, very good. Well, thank you so much, ladies. I know that you inspired a lot of people today, including me. I love hearing your stories. It reminds me that people are looking for solutions. And I don't know if this is for you or if anything that you heard tonight really resonates with you. But if something did, please get with the person that invited you, because we do believe that people don't have to exchange mommy care for daycare. We do believe that families are looking for options where they don't have to trade hours for dollars, working for somebody else for something that they will never own. That people can invest a few years of their life to create that residual income that can pay them for a lifetime and allow them to decide how they want to live their life, how they want to get back, how they want to pour into others, how they want to spend their free time and their money. So thank you again for joining us, and we'd love to have you on this mission. We need more boots on the ground, because we know that some will, some won't, but there's somebody out there waiting for our message of hope. Thanks again for joining us.